You wake up exhausted, drag yourself through the day, and by 8 p.m., you're already thinking about sleep. But here's the thing, you're probably getting enough sleep. 7, maybe 8 hours a night. So why do you feel drained all the time? Let me tell you something you might not want to hear. You're not tired. You're bored. And boredom is exhausting. Here's what nobody tells you about energy. It doesn't come from rest. It comes from purpose. You can sleep 12 hours and still feel dead inside if your life has no meaning. But you can run on 5 hours of sleep and feel truly alive if you're reworking on something that matters. Energy isn't about how much you sleep. It's about how much you care. Think about the last time you felt genuinely energized. I'm not talking about caffeine energy. I'm talking about that feeling where hours pass like minutes. Where you forget to eat because you're so focused. Where you stay up late not because you have to, but because you want to. That's real energy. And you probably haven't felt it in a long time. Why? Because nothing in your life excites you anymore? You go to a job you tolerate, come home to a routine you're numb to, scroll through content that doesn't feed your soul, and go to bed feeling empty. Then you wake up and repeat. That's not living. That's existing. And just existing is exhausting. Your body knows the difference. When you're engaged, your brain releases chemicals like dopamine and adrenaline that make you feel alive. When you're just going through the motions, those chemicals never show up, so your body conserves energy. It thinks, why waste resources on a life you're not even living? This is why people feel so energized on vacation. It's not because they're sleeping more, but because they're doing new things. Novelty creates energy. Challenge creates energy. Purpose creates energy. Repetition without meaning drains you. Most people think they need a break. What they actually need is something worth showing up for. Here's a simple test. Think about something you're genuinely excited about. Maybe it's a trip you have coming up, a project you care about, or a person you can't wait to see. Notice how just thinking about it makes you feel more awake. That's your brain responding to meaning. Now, think about your average Tuesday. Work, errands, TV, sleep. Notice how just thinking about it makes you feel heavier. That's your body telling you it doesn't want to waste energy on that life. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love." He wasn't just being poetic. He was talking about having a reason to get up. Without that reason, waking up feels like a chore. Most people try to fix this feeling with more rest. But rest doesn't solve boredom. It just gives you more time to notice how unfulfilled you are. You don't need more sleep. You need stimulation. You don't need more comfort. You need a challenge. You need something that makes you feel like you're building towards a goal, not just maintaining the status quo. But here's the good news. You can change this today. Not by sleeping more, but by caring more. Find one thing, just one. Something that makes you curious. Something you want to get better at. Something that scares you a little bit because it actually matters. It doesn't have to be your career. It can be a side project, a new skill, a relationship you want to deepen. Anything that gives you a reason to show up fully instead of half asleep. And then just watch what happens to your energy. Suddenly, you're not crashing at 2 p.m. Suddenly, you have a focus you didn't have before. Suddenly, you're staying up late not because you're mindlessly scrolling, but because you're creating something. That's what real energy feels like. Not forced, not caffeinated, just naturally alive because your life has something worth being alive for. Most people will keep blaming their tiredness on not enough sleep, a bad diet, or stress. And yes, those things matter. But they're not the core problem. The core problem is that you're bored out of your mind. And you've been bored for so long you've forgotten what it feels like to be truly excited. So you've labeled that numbness as tired. But what you're feeling is apathy. And apathy will drain you faster than any physical exhaustion ever could. So here's what you can do. Stop saying you're tired when what you really mean is you're uninspired. Stop treating rest as the solution when the real solution is engagement. And stop waiting for life to get interesting. Make it interesting. Build something. Learn something. Risk something. Do anything that requires you to show up as more than a zombie just going through the motions. Because that version of you that's excited to wake up, it's still in there. It's just been asleep because you gave it nothing worth waking up for. Give it a reason, and watch your energy come roaring back. Not because you rested more, but because you finally started living again. Thanks for watching. If this resonated with you, let me know in the comments and be sure to subscribe for more.